casualties. The British government alone spent $690 million to ensure that.
Things don't go right by accident. I mean, for instance, here in the UK, we ran a major assessment programme for the national infrastructure. That assessment programme looked, of course, first to see what was necessary to do, and there were certainly things that needed to be updated and things that needed to be modified. So we're quite sure that the money was well spent.
Businesses say so far so good. One British store chain reports the most serious problem called into its hotline was when a child cut the cables to the family computer to keep the Y2K gremlins from getting inside. Most hospitals are operating just fine, thank you. 3 Swedish hospitals say they had millennium bug problems with a piece of heart monitoring equipment on January 1st. But a technician quickly fixed the glitch. France reported no major problems with Y2K. One small glitch did hit a French defense satellite. Officials say the Syracuse 2, which links Paris with French forces in Kosovo, had trouble with one program, but the Defense Ministry says it had no effect on troops in the field. In fact, Y2K is the least of France's worries. More than 500,000 French remained without power over the weekend because of last week's killer storm. Electrical generators used to power the Ferris wheels on the Champs-Élysées and other Millennium events in Britain are being pressed into service to help out. The next big test comes Monday, on the first business day of the new year, when all stores open their doors and the financial world returns to work. One hopeful sign, stock and bond markets across Europe have been running trouble-free tests over the weekend. Chris Burns, CNN, London.
The United States will have a major test of computer systems in a few hours when most businesses open for the first time since the rollover to Y2K. Most are counting on a smooth transition. One U.S. official estimates the government and private sector spent about $100 billion for Y2K fixes. But the fixes haven't made it to every business. A customer returning a movie rental in suburban Albany, New York, was presented with a $91,000 late fee because the computer showed the tape was 100 years late. Not that hard to do. On Monday, President Clinton will open the latest round of peace talks between Israel and Syria in Shepherdstown, West Virginia. Both the Israeli and Syrian delegations arrived at Andrews Air Force Base Sunday. Before leaving Tel Aviv, the Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak said he will only sign an agreement with Syria if it strengthens his country's security. Syria's Foreign Minister Farouk al-Shara is representing President Hafez Assad during this round of talks. He says he's traveling to West Virginia to see if Israel is sincere and really wants peace.
India's top security advisor is accusing Pakistan of having links with the 5 people who hijacked an Indian Airlines plane. Rajesh Mishra told Star TV that India intercepted radio conversations between militant groups in Kashmir that confirmed that Pakistan was involved. Pakistan, however, denies any ties to that incident. The hijackers fled southern Afghanistan on Friday after releasing the 155 hostages, but their whereabouts still are not known. Pakistan says its border patrols are on alert to intercept them. The border between Pakistan and Afghanistan is mountainous and extends more than 1,000 miles. Afghanistan's role in resolving the hijacking helped to raise that country's international profile and to shed a positive light on the ruling Taliban. CNN's Nick Robertson now looks at the impact that the attention has had inside the country.
Barely 10 miles from the airport, and Kandahar's city gates bear one of the telltale signs of Taliban rule. A wall of tape built from banned music cassettes. Televisions are also forbidden, but during the hijacking, the Taliban foreign minister regularly briefed the international media, including TV crews, on his government's efforts to end the crisis, something unheard of in the past.
It was solely for the humanitarian cause. It was not our intention to enhance our relations with anybody. But if it's done automatically, then we are more than happy. And we of course want to have to appease the United Nations and all the international community.
Most here think the Taliban did their best to help win the hostages' freedom and hope that a new image of the Taliban will emerge.
We are hoping that those people who don't think good of the Taliban, that they change their opinion, that they will accept that the Taliban are good people.
Running the country by their own strict interpretation of Islam has led to almost complete international isolation of the Taliban. An isolation further increased recently by United Nations sanctions, banning international flights, and freezing overseas bank accounts belonging to the Taliban because of their refusal to hand over suspected international terrorist Osama bin Laden. UN praise for the Taliban role in the hostage release has now given some hope for a better future.
It would be good for Afghans if the Taliban were recognized. We have problems like food and medicine.
Since coming to power in Kandahar, their ethnic heartland, about 5 years ago, the Taliban have relaxed some of their restrictions. Football and other sports once banned for being un-Islamic are now allowed, and men forbidden to cut their beards can get away with a trim.
They are not very strict. Like you see here, it's not very big beard. I trim it. There is not really a problem.
Most edicts remain in place, however, like the one that says Taliban laments are the only music allowed. But perhaps the biggest change is the most subtle one, permitting TV crews to interview the people. Nick Robertson, CNN, Kandahar, Afghanistan.
Another sign the Taliban could be softening its stance. On Sunday, the supreme leader of the Afghan regime ordered the release of 51 political prisoners. The Islamic Press Service reports the release was ordered on humanitarian grounds. The United States is sending 407 immigrants back to Haiti. 411 people were found Saturday aboard a freighter floating off the coast of Florida. 4 women were taken ashore for medical treatment. The rest will be sent back to Haiti aboard U.S. Coast Guard cutters. Most of the immigrants are from Haiti, 16 are from the Dominican Republic, and 2 came from the People's Republic of China.
Turning now to the race for the U.S. White House, CNN has learned that former GOP presidential contender Elizabeth Dole will throw her weight behind the party's frontrunner George W. Bush. Dole is expected to announce the endorsement at a campaign appearance in New Hampshire on Tuesday. Dole abandoned her presidential bid in October, saying she couldn't raise enough money